Welcome to Basic Brewing Radio for Thursday, May 7th, 2026. I'm James Spencer. Here at Basic Brewing Radio, we're all about home brewing. This week, Adam Ross from Twin Span Brewing in Bettendorf, Iowa, and James Bardeen from Far Field Beer Company in Lawndale, California, talk about their experiences at the Craft Brewers Conference in Philadelphia. We met James 15 years ago at HomebrewCon in San Diego. Now, he's got an award-winning brewery in the Los Angeles area. If you want to support us financially, check out patreon.com/basicbrewing, and many thanks to everybody who's helping out in that way. If you go to patreon.com/basicbrewing, you can see a long list of stuff that you can access if you sign up as a supporter. Financial supporters will soon see the video that Steve and I are planning to shoot later this week. That's on my rice lager, brewed with Arkansas-grown sake rice. I had planned on using Kanpai from Imperial, but Dave was out at the time of my order, so I went with Urkel instead. It wasn't a typical fermentation, but I'll save the details for the video show. Our brewers' logbooks are back in stock at basicbrewingshop.com. We had a bit of an issue with connecting to the Postal Service site recently, but we think we've got that ironed out, so cheers, and thanks to Walter in Massachusetts for letting me know of the issue and then ordering 3 logbooks when it was fixed. So if you had some issues in trying to enter your address and arrange shipping recently, check back. We hope it's working. And if it's not, please let us know, like Walter in Massachusetts. We appreciate everybody who's picked up a logbook so far. Susan and I bottled the next round of hop samplers yesterday. Those are using French hops, Aramis, Triskel, and Elixir. Looking forward to tasting how those turn out. I mentioned it briefly earlier, but our friends at Imperial Yeast are re-releasing L55 Kanpai, the most requested seasonal from 2025. Clean, crisp, and smooth. Imperial L55 Kanpai gives you crystal clear results because of its high flocculation. Light, drinkable body with a real depth of flavor and a crisp, dry finish. L55 Kanpai from Imperial is also versatile, well suited for classic rice lagers and modern twists alike. You may remember that I brewed a rice lager earlier, a few weeks ago, or maybe a few months ago, I don't know. You may remember, I don't. But anyway, I brewed a delicious rice lager with Kanpai before, and I added the yuzu and ginger flavor at the end. That was a really fun and tasty beer. We love Imperial with 200 billion cells in each easy-to-open package. I like to say my stir plate is dusty because I don't use it anymore to make starters for moderate gravity 5-gallon batches. And my airlocks are usually bubbling before bedtime. Imperial L55 Kanpai is available through June 5th, so ask your local homebrew store for it and pick it up before it's gone. And as always, you can check out all the dependable deliciousness at imperialyeast.com. It's imperialyeast.com. Okay, let's talk to Adam Ross and James Bardeen about their trip to Philly for CBC.
What are you drinking, West Coast James?
I am drinking our core IPA, Rosecrans IPA.
Is that the one you won a medal on?
No, it's not. So we won. We didn't unfortunately win anything this year at World Beer Cup, but we won last year for our New Zealand rice lager, Crispy Kiwi. We got a bronze, and then the year before that we won for Infrared, our American red ale.
Oh, nice!
Wow, congratulations. Let me introduce you guys so that we can start. I may actually roll that part too. Adam Ross. Adam Ross, welcome back to Basic Brewing Radio.
Yeah, happy to be here as always, James.
Adam of Twin Span Brewing up in Bettendorf, Iowa. And I almost said welcome back, James Bardeen of Far Field Beer Company out in Lawndale, California. You haven't been on the audio side, but you've been on the video side. Welcome.
Yeah. A while ago, I don't know, 15 years ago or so.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me back. I must have made a really good impression. So,
yeah. Well, in fact, I have a little surprise for you. About a 60-second surprise.
Oh boy.
I want to cast us back in time to San Diego in 2011.
So I'm here with James Bardeen, and tell me what club you're with.
I'm with the Meisters of the Brewniverse.
Okay, that's okay. Now, here's the cool thing. This mead is made with lavender and orange blossom honey, and it's absolutely delicious. Tell us a little bit about how you made it and how much lavender's in it, etc.
Yeah, so I made like a 2.5 gallon orange blossom mead batch, and I think it's around 12% alcohol. And then I basically dry hopped it with lavender blossoms. It's about a little bit smaller than a handful per gallon.
And how long did you leave it on the lavender before you pulled it off and bottled?
I probably left it on the lavender about 3 weeks, something like that. But I was continually tasting it, pulling a little bit out every week to make sure I didn't, over lavender it.
I've been accused of that.
Right. Yeah, it can be powerful stuff. It really can.
So hope I didn't embarrass you too much, James, but there you were.
Are you still doing things by the handful?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, you do. I was looking at your tap list, and you do have a lavender Berliner Weiss on tap. So you're still playing with lavender.
We're still doing our thing with lavender, and actually, the lavender Berliner Weiss came directly after that lavender mead. And my wife loves sour beers, and so I started playing around with lavender sour beers, and now, honestly, here the brewery exists now. So there we go.
Yeah, Adam, if you don't mind sitting on the sidelines for just a second, I want to kind of bring us up to speed on what James has been doing for the past 15 years. You opened your brewery in July of 2021. Is that right? And then how did you get from HomebrewCon in San Diego in 2011 to having your own successful brewery?
Yeah. So, kind of a little backstory of Farfield Beer Company. When I met James at the NHC back in 2011, I was living in Los Angeles, and then my wife and I decided to move to Wisconsin. And when I was there, basically every one of my friends owned a brewery. So, and the homebrewing culture is really deep up in Wisconsin. Like everybody homebrews. Maybe everybody's not in a homebrew club, but everybody homebrews. I then had a basement to have an electric system and barrel aging, and kind of went down the whole barrel aging rabbit hole, and was putting together a business plan in Wisconsin, and then we decided to move back to LA. And when we got back here, it was like, do we do it? Do we not do it? And a buddy of mine in our homebrew club here, we decided to kind of go in together and open up Farfield. So we were going through our conditional use permit process when the state of California basically closed down, which was super interesting.
For COVID.
Had signed a lease like 2 months before that. Yeah. During COVID. And, but then we got through all those hurdles and construction and everything, and then opened in 2021. So excellent. Yeah, it's been an interesting road, but, definitely worth it.
And
hard work, but definitely worth it.
You were touching on it a little earlier in the pre-conversation, but you've won some awards along the way.
Yeah, so we won Great American Beer Festival gold for two-wheeler in the urban spice category. That's two-wheelers, the lavender sour ale. And then we won gold at the World Beer Cup for our American Red Ale in 2024. And then last year we won a bronze medal for Crispy Kiwi, which is our New Zealand rice lager. I'm actually looking at my beer menu right now in the brewery just to make sure I didn't miss one.
So you're slipping. You went from gold to bronze. You're slipping.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Right? Yeah.
Are those on all the time now?
Yeah, actually, two-wheelers on all the time. That was actually a requirement from my wife to open up the brewery. We had to have two-wheeler on all the time. And then Crispy Kiwi has become a pretty core beer for us. Sometimes it goes away. And then Infrared does really well both in the tap room and out of the tap room. So we got to keep that one on. It's interesting having a red ale like be a solid core for you in this day and age, especially in LA, but it does pretty well here.
Nice. I'll have to try them when I go because my rule is to visit the front doorstep of everyone on the show. So.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you guys, James actually contacted me and asked to get in contact with Adam at the Craft Brewers Conference, which is a reversal from.
I was like, I hear this guy on the radio all the time or on the podcast. I'm like, I got to meet this guy in person. So,
were you disappointed?
Yeah. No, it was funny on the expo floor, which has like no fewer than 20,000 people, and he's like, "Well, I'm over by this booth. My name is James. I've got a colorful backpack." So I go up to this dude with a colorful backpack named James, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy," and he's like, "Who are you?" And I turn 30 degrees to my left, and there's West Coast James.
West Coast James, that's right.
Right there. So, yeah, a couple Jameses out there brewing and walking around at CBC with backpacks.
Yeah. So even though I'm known as West Coast James, I still have a Midwesterner at heart since I grew up in Kansas and went backpacking in Northwest Arkansas all the time growing up as a kid. So,
well, there you go.
Love it.
Yeah, we were talking about having to dodge tornadoes and things before we got started. So, and you went from tornadoes to earthquakes. So, so what's the beer environment around your neck of the woods nowadays?
I mean, it's in LA. It's extremely IPA and lager heavy. I would say. And we're probably veering more towards the hoppy lager kind of category now with everybody's tap lists. So, I mean, there's a couple of breweries that have really kind of cemented some new categories. I would say Highland Park is probably one of them. They do almost all of their IPAs using 3470 lager yeast. And they'll either ferment them as they would an ale, like 60 to 65 and then ramp up, or they do a lower fermentation, more like a hobby lager kind of thing. And then there's some other trendy breweries down in Orange County, everywhere in Radiant. But still very hoppy forward for sure, and very light in color. I mean, this is our darkest IPA.
Oh, wow.
Essentially. So almost, we're really on the light end. We're using a lot of really pale Pilsner malts in our IPAs.
I would call that light straw color, Adam, Mr. Sister.
Yeah, that is certainly lighter than most of my IPAs.
Well, I'm very happy for your success, and I'm glad that we've been able to reconnect after 15 years. I wanted to give the opportunity, since you guys both were at the conference. We did it last year, Adam, with Greg McGill down in New Zealand. But just to kind of hit the high points of the conference, and I don't know, should we start with, we've been talking California a little bit. Should we start with the news that was announced around the time of the conference of Stone's sale again? Stone was sold to Firestone Walker, which is a subsidiary of Duvel Mortgat, USA.
Sorry, they've got Boulevard too, right?
Right. And it was announced that they, along with that, would come 4 tap rooms. Sapporo, which was the previous owner, will keep the Escondido tap room and the Virginia Stone Brewery. And then Stone beers are going to start. They're going to be brewed by Firestone Walker and Boulevard. What was the reaction around California? I mean, you're a little north of that, but still, you should have felt some ripples from that.
Yeah, I think everybody was kind of like a little surprised. They were thinking it was the second kind of the second coming of Ballast Point when they've sold off for like $1 billion, and then the next sale it was like, I don't know, 200 million. The next sale was like 20 million, and I don't know if they're whatever. Is that kind of similar story? Um, we actually have Firestone Walker actually has their propagator in Marina Del Rey, which is not that far from us. And we know Sam Tierney over there. I mean, he's a head brewer that location. But I would say I actually didn't know that Sapporo was going to keep the Escondido tap room. That was kind of surprising. But I just heard that the Virginia one is going to close.
Oh,
Like I just saw that. I think I just saw that in another news just this morning.
Oh.
So it sounds like the Virginia, like Sapporo, might just be kind of closing up shop in Virginia as well. But yeah.
I don't trust any news from West Coast James. When we first met, he told me my favorite hop supplier went out of business. And I was like, what? No. And then he confirmed, and I went back and read some emails, and I was like, oh, it's true. No, it's true. My hop supplier that I get the majority of my hops from is no more.
Oh, no.
I know. So I know that's not, don't shoot the messenger, but could have made a better first impression there, too.
Damn.
Well, every time I hear of a big acquisition somewhere, my first thought is, well, Michael Tonsmeyer's got to fix that chart. He's got
Yeah, exactly, right?
He's got that chart.
I thought for a second you were going to say that Farfield got acquired by somebody, and I've been like, what? What's going on?
I watched the videos. I watched the Basic Brewing video of Homebrew Con's club night, which was a lot of fun. Got to see some familiar faces again, along with yours, James. And then the other one was where we talked about our little field trips around, and we went to the Stone World Bistro. We went to Lost Abbey, where the brewer Gordon, who ran the bottling line there, treated us very well, as I remember. And we went down to Pizza Port as well, and that was a heck of a trip. There was also, I don't know if you remember, but after club night there were a couple of food trucks like behind the venue. And so that was like one of the best parts, because you're drinking beer all night, and then you go down, and I think one was like pasta and the other was I don't even remember. It was delicious though. Anyway, the archives, even the stuff that's not on YouTube, if you go to basicbrewing.com, it's all of the stuff is in the archives on the site. So it's funny to go back in time and see the resolution get worse over, because back then bandwidth was a problem. So
Yeah,
we get smaller and grainier.
That venue that it was at, I honestly can't. Something Town and Country or something like that.
Yeah,
in San Diego. Yeah, the family, we've gone down there a couple of times over the last couple of years, and it's even better. It's even nicer. They kind of remodeled the whole place, and so I would love to have another conference down there.
Yeah, I think there were three Homebrew Con conferences down there, and Steve and I went to one just a few years ago. Had to be pre-pandemic, I'm thinking, but. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was weird because they had redone a lot of it, and I got lost. Nothing looked familiar from back in the day. So, So Adam, what were you looking for when you went to the conference, the craft beer conference this year, and did you find it?
Yeah, so this is my fifth one, and consecutively, and I always want to make sure I make it to them, even when they get expensive. I'm like, I have to do it. This is table stakes. I feel like in this industry, it's definitely FOMO if you don't go. You're missing out for sure. But also I have to justify my business partners, so I'm flying Austin and I halfway across the country. So I mean, we had some things. I was, other than networking with people. There was in the seminars, Trade show was really my focus this year because a couple things like our label machine died more or less.
Hmm.
It lived a long life of 1 year in our brew house before it died. I wanted to connect with some of our suppliers. That's always a good thing. I wanted to look for ways to improve brew house efficiency, different enzymes. I was really focused on enzymes this year. I've been doing the low ABV thing, so I was seeing what I could learn in that space. NA and co-packers for NA was a big part of my research. But yeah, it was CBC was shorter this year than any other year. They cut it half a day or a day off of it, and so um, Austin and I kind of had a game plan, and we split up and we checked all the boxes that we had.
Hmm. What about you, James?
Yeah, that was kind of similar to Bryce and I. And actually, Bryce is just walking through the tap room right now with his brew dog Bailey. Um, but he attended most of the brewing side educational seminars where I think he went to a yeast talk. We both went to a chat that Julian Schrago, who used to be from Beechwood, is now at Urban Roots up in Sacramento, and he was doing a chat with the abstracts folks who do a lot of the advanced flowable products. A lot of us commercial homebrewers are trying, or commercial homebrewers. There you go. Nice.
Freudian slip.
Yeah,
No, I hear
exactly.
you. I feel the same way.
Yeah, yeah. We're trying to kind of like what Adam said, increase efficiency, and especially with just the sheer amount of pounds per barrel of hops that are going into some of our West Coast. Uh, if we can reduce that and still have the same kind of flavor that we want to have, then we're trying to get there with some advanced products. But I was totally focused on the two things, which is like the finance side of the brewery. So I attended a full day finance class on Monday before the whole most of the stuff started, and then through the trade floor. I was talking with a lot of our hop providers, since that's kind of like the biggest bang for my buck, to try to reduce some costs, and but then also like get the best hops out there. We're always trying to get the punchiest thing that we can put in our beer. So that's kind of what I was focused on. Yeah.
Yeah, how was the class? I've heard mixed reviews on some of those workshops.
The class was good. It wasn't anything completely mind blowing, but it did make me look through a lot of my own data and think about, okay, how am I comparing to benchmarks for other breweries of my size? And so I think that was the biggest thing, is understanding benchmarking. I don't have an MBA. I came from, my background is electrical engineering.
Hmm.
So, I'm learning all the financial stuff on the fly. So even though I've been in the business for 5 years, but still learning an insane amount every week. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, those the seminars I often met. I go to fewer and fewer seminars every year because they do such a good job of recording them and putting them
Mm.
yeah.
out for BA members, including the slide decks, where you can see the slide decks before the presentation. And so I will sweep through them and see what I think will be a value add. But for me, I saw Yvonne Debates was talking about the history of Saison, and I was like, I'm gonna make it to that. I absolutely have
Yeah,
to.
that's right. We were messaging during that one actually, and I
Oh,
was like, ah, dang it, I
like
forgot that one was going.
I did learn a bit, but it's not like there are any secrets revealed. But it really was a case of like I'm in the middle of the talk, and I'm already trying to change my production schedule so I can get a Saison in as soon as
Mm.
possible.
Yeah. And actually, kind of speaking of Belgian beers, that was a side topic that kind of came up a couple of times. Not only that chat, but then at the craft beer and brewing live podcast that I went to on Monday with Vinny Chilurzo, um, Evan from Green Cheek, and Kelsey from North Park. And then I can't remember Adam. I can't remember the other two guys. You were
You
there
think
too,
I
right?
remember that? No.
Yeah.
So I'll say my story. They had an offsite live recording, and I was really excited about it. I actually bought tickets. They ended up giving some away, but I was that excited. Uh, but then also and it's just going to sound like an excuse, and it is. My wife and I had done like a 10-mile hike the day before. Got on the plane at like 4 in the morning, flew to Philly, did all these seminars, did all the sampling, got to this nice dark theater with surprisingly comfy chairs, and then Austin kept feeding me. We had all you can drink Russian River beers, so STS pills and Blind Pig, and I realized that I missed out on a lot of the podcast. Thankfully, they've already posted it, and I've listened, and I was like, yeah, no, I remember that. But then on the way back to the hotel, I was navigating with my phone, and they say Philadelphia is the most walkable city in America, but if you're not paying attention, you trip and you hurt your knee, and 10 days later, you're still limping around.
Sometimes I complain about the sidewalks in LA and like how they're all completely crazy uneven because of tree roots and such. Some interesting grade to the ones in Philly. So
Oh, it could have been completely flat, for all I know. I was a little uneven, but yeah, I'm not complaining. I did that back more to the point. That was a great talk. It was very
yeah,
incredibly nerdy. They even brought Dr. Schellheimer up on stage to talk about very specific hop
yeah,
side.
that part was super nerdy. I was really digging it. But I had a side conversation with Vinny before they all went up on stage, and we were just kind of chatting a little bit about the demise of American made Belgian beers
Hmm.
and how it's become less and less and less over the years. And he was like, he's like, yeah, that's true, but something that's been really interesting is Damnation has really taken off for us in like the last year. And so he said that they noticed a couple of things with packaging. First of all, it's just getting rid of the cork and cage and just going with the crown top, and then pushing draft again. So so hopefully, there'll be a market for good Belgian beers out there again.
Is
Um,
he switched to cork and cage because now they're pasteurizing their Belgians, or what?
no, 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 he switched away from cork and cage. So Damnation was on cork and cage, and then they went to crown.
So is that purely an aesthetics choice, or did they change their process to where they feel they don't need a cork and cage?
I think it's just purely aesthetics. Yeah,
Okay.
I asked him if he did any like data analysis, and he's like, "Pfft, data analysis? Why,
Oh, come on, Vinny.
why do I need to do that?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "No, it's just gut feel. We just went for it."
I wonder if,
So
whenever I get a beer that feels, super special, it's like I want to drink it, but I want to save it. And so
yeah,
maybe, this is just out of my, nether regions, but maybe if you get a beer that's got a cap on it instead of a cork, maybe you're less reluctant to just go ahead and drink the dang thing. I don't
I
know.
100% agree. Yeah,
I'm still nervous about that though. We do our wild beers. We do one big tentpole release every year now with a wild ferment or Brett. And you tried some James NWA James of our Untold Horses, our stout that was all Brett fermented. And I didn't realize the staff had done this at the brewery, but they put them up in the window on the south side of the building. And I was hanging out with some other local brewers, and they tapped me on the shoulder, and they're all corked and caged. And those bottles were the corks were hanging on for dear life.
Oh,
And so I'm like, we're gonna carefully put these in the walk-in, and I'm like, we're gonna open this one that
please.
looks. And I undid the little wire, and I just
Yeah,
tapped it in the brew house because we have a floor drain, and it just rocketed up, and then we poured it out, and we had it all warm, and it was delicious. But I'd be scared with some of these
wow.
to put a crown on, but
hmm.
I'm not. Vinny absolutely knows what he's talking about, so I am not going to question that remotely. But I'm going to be a little hesitant personally
Yeah.
to not.
No, I understand that. I understand the hesitancy. Yeah, we do a fair number of barrel aged beers here that have a whole slew of microbes in it. But we do not cork and cage either.
Depasteurize?
Um, we do not pasteurize. I take it to terminal and we go from there.
Yeah,
So
your job title is founder and barrel blender. So it sounds like barrels are a big part of your operation.
well, in the original business plan, in 2018 or whatever, whenever, or 2017 maybe, when I made it, sour beers were still a big deal, and like the rare barrel was still going, and so the initial business plan was 50% sour, 50% clean
Wow.
beers, and now that has drastically changed. So now we're at like 90 to 95% clean and 10 to 5% sour. So
Hmm.
we have, we've got a fair number of barrels back there. For our size of brewery, we've got about anywhere from 20 to 30 barrels at any one point in time. But we're nothing like, the brewery over in Orange that's got like, I don't know, 2,000 barrels, or I don't know how many barrels they have nowadays, but
Wow.
yeah, or yeah. So, and that's just kind of like the state of the brewing world and sour beers right now. Sour beers gone significantly down in market share.
Are you still seeing them drop? I'm starting to see sour come back here in the Midwest.
I feel like it's like leveled off for us. It's leveled off in LA, and in Orange County. I People. I mean, we typically have. Let's see, how many do we have on right now? Actually, we have two sour beers, one barrel aged and then one kettle sour um, beer. So yeah, we have anywhere from two to four on at any one point in time out of our 20 taps.
Yeah, okay, when I say they're coming back, they're still like 5% of our sales tops. So
Okay.
it's not
Yeah.
not setting the world on fire by any means. But I also feel like quick sours, kettle sours are popular, sure, but people at least, or maybe we're just getting better at making them. People, there seems to be increased interest on these, true wild sours.
Hmm. I know
Yeah.
Lost 40 Brewing in Little Rock just won. I I can't remember what they won, but they won a World Beer Cup award for their. It's called Twig, and they use yeast that's was harvested in Little Rock, like out in
Yeah.
a public
Yeah.
park. Um, and so they make some amazing mixed fermentation or wild beers. They only sell them at their brewery, unfortunately, and that's a long way away to go for a beer run. But
Yeah,
you,
that's back to exploding bottles, probably. I want
yeah,
it. I don't sell my cork and cage to retail because I don't want them to put them in a window somewhere and have the cork spot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's very true. Yeah. We always make sure we do sell a very small amount to accounts, but they all have walk-in coolers and they're all keeping things cool. So yeah.
James, you said you said 20 taps. This leads me to something that I wanted to mention on the show. In our Patreon show recently, most of us in the conversation came down against flights. And Amber from Patreon said flights are the best way for a new customer to become a repeat customer. It may be annoying for you, meaning the commercial business, but as a customer, I want to taste as much of what I can of what you've created, and then buy big pours of the beers I really enjoyed. So, James, what at Farfield? What do y'all do flights?
We kind of sort of do flights. So we have flight boards, but you can get any number of taste, like 4 ounce sample beers, and put those together. So if you want a 10 flight board, you can go for it, and we'll just keep filling them. Um, I love them from the financial side.
Hmm.
I hate them when I'm actually behind the bar and serving them. So I don't know. It's that love hate relationship. we definitely take them off the menu if we are expecting a very busy night. If we have an event, it's going to be half pours or full pours only. So, um, so we kind of we change it up every now and then. But yeah, I know a lot of people enjoy the flights. I personally, as a consumer, prefer half pours. That's my go-to.
Same, but when you have 20 taps, half
Yeah.
pours, and when I do visit West Coast James, I'm going to drink everything you
Yes.
have on. And so
Let's do it. Yeah.
hopefully there's either a cot there for me or a flight board.
There we go. We'll do some nail pulls too in the barrels.
Oh,
Oh,
Absolutely.
oh.
okay, I'll be there next week.
And we're like 5 minutes from LAX, so we're pretty close.
Oh man,
Easy peasy.
there's
I swear.
a direct
Yeah.
flight.
I
There's
can even pick you up in my car.
holy smokes.
That's not sounding desperate, is it? Sorry.
there's a direct flight from XNA from Northwest Arkansas, I believe, to LAX. So yeah, it may be a weird.
Nice.
I think is it Allegiant or Lion or what? It's the one that you gotta.
Yeah,
you know,
Legion. Yeah.
You got to go on a certain day and come back on a certain day. But
Yep.
I think they're pretty
Right.
cheap too. So
Yeah, I'm looking at your menu, West Coast James. I see you have 4-ounce pour listed, so you're not encouraging flights, but you're saying like, hey, if you know, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's on our menu here too. And yeah. Yeah.
So what kind of a town beer town is Philadelphia? That we went to HomebrewCon there a few years ago, and I remember having a good time. I don't remember where we went, but I'll have to look at the video to see where we went. But where did y'all go, Adam?
Did you make it to Human Robot, West Coast James?
Yes, I did. I
Yeah, so we
went
only had
on Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, Austin. I only hit up a few places because we didn't have that much time. I mean, we had plenty. We never went thirsty because CBC is secretly a beer fest as well as a professional industry event. Uh, but yeah, we did Iron Hill because they were walking distance and they've been around a while and they've won something like 50 World Beer Cup and GABF medals and that was very much. Trying to think of a nice way to say this. I love the place. Food was great. Awesome location, good vibes. But it was very much, you could tell it was a brewery that was founded in like the 90s, early 2000s. Like there was a porter on the menu. There's a stout. There's a blonde. People were ordering all of them. They didn't seem to be chasing trends. They had some of the more trendy beers on. But yeah, everything was really good. And then there was a place we stopped at on the stumble back from the podcast. I couldn't tell you much about it. But then Human Robot was where everyone went, and it was just slammed every night.
Yeah.
And their beers are all incredible. A lot of Czech,
Yeah. A lot of lagers,
Czech
right?
pours. Um,
Yeah.
I overheard in waiting to use the restroom, one of the staff was like hiding in a broom closet because it had just been nonstop with brewers just inundating the place. But their beer was so darn good. Yeah, it felt like you could pick plenty of places within a short walk slash Uber drive. There wasn't just like one brewing district, but it also didn't feel like it was too much of a trek to bounce.
Is Victory up there? Was that the trip that we went to Victory?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see them. I'm disappointed. We couldn't make it out to Victory.
That bunch of whole hops.
I was a terrible brewery owner, and I did not go to any breweries except. Well, actually, sorry, I went to two because I was going to all of the vendor parties. So, but I went to two. Went to Yard Brewing, and actually had probably the best pale ale that I've had in 10 years outside of Sierra Nevada because I love that beer. Absolutely adore Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. But it was one of the best pale ales I've had in a really stinking long time. And then we went to, my brewer Bryce and I went to Human Robot on Thursday, and he had more beers than I had. I was pretty much beered out by that point. But I had think I had their Italian Pilsner, which was really nice. Um, Appreciated the slow pour pills. Dug that. And then another place that I went to was Monk's Cafe,
Oh yeah.
which I had never been to before and had always wanted to go. So that was a great experience. We did that on Thursday as well, and had two fabulous, or I had two or three fabulous Belgian beers while I was there, and had the mussels and the pommes frites and the whole shebang. So that was a great time, really good time. But I feel like Philly as a whole, I heard of a lot of people going to a lot of different breweries and checking out the scene, and everybody was pretty happy.
What made the pale ale so darn good?
It was it had that really great balance of malt to hops, and I feel like even though I really enjoy overly hoppy beer being here on the West Coast, I miss um I miss that great blend of maltiness to hoppiness, and that pale ale just had it all. And plus it was like 5%, 5.5%, so it was a great beer.
Do you remember what it was called? Because we didn't make it the Yards proper, but Austin and I stopped at the Yards location in the airport on the way out, and I did have a really good pale ale there. I have to imagine it was the same one.
Yeah, I don't. I think it was the Philly Pale.
Okay, I might have had that one.
You might have had that one.
I
I
had an
was just looking
IPA. I mean,
just
it's
looking it up, and it
airport. It's
was
going to be different. I had an IPA. It wasn't a pale ale proper, but it wasn't.
okay.
I liked it, and it wasn't a like a super hoppy pale modern. It was just like a really well done old school IPA.
Oh, okay, nice, nice. Yeah, it's so crazy how pale and how light and how zero malt influence there is in West Coast IPAs right now,
Mm.
and in the SoCal area.
Yeah, and it seems like if everybody's lagering as well, or brewing with lager yeast, it seems like I don't want to say that all the character of the beer is stripped away except for the hops, but it sounds like all the character of the beer is stripped away except for the hops.
Yeah, but there's a nuance there with the 3470 yeast and some of the sulfur that it gives off. It's
Mm.
not it's in the background, but it does this thing. The sulfur in combination with the hops kind of gives it its own hoppy vibe. So um, yeah, but yeah, the malt is definitely there just as a white canvas for sure.
Yeah, to
No,
quote the live podcast that we went to that I just re-listened to.
is this Evan's
It's
quote?
Yeah, it's Mercaptan if you don't like it. It's Styles if you do like it. When you're Because so many people are brewing with these yeast, lager or
Yeah.
otherwise, that are really emphasizing these
Oh, that
sulfur
was the guy from
compounds.
Breakside,
Yeah, probably. I
right?
mean, I only
Yeah.
remember listening to it.
Yeah.
West Coast James.
Yeah.
Who was who? Yeah.
I,
On that note, I'm brewing the new dry fermenters lyophilized lager yeast here. I think this week, and so. Um, I think to your point, Arkansas James, that they're not just because lager doesn't mean you're stripping away all the character. It means we're learning different dials and levers to pull as brewers, and we're finding that consumers are wanting when it comes to a certain type of beer, they're wanting that lager fermentation, and we're gonna have to pull smaller levers.
And does that mean that you got to dial the bitterness down in those styles if there's less of a malt backbone to kind of balance it out?
I mean, for us, we definitely have less bitterness than IPAs, had 10 years ago, for sure. Um, and yeah, it is that delicate balance between having the malt sweetness there to back up some of the bitterness, and it just being overly bitter. So, uh, a lot of the hop charges that we have going in are all Whirlpool hops. definitely keep the kettle additions to a minimum.
Did y'all find any new hops that you either rubbed or sampled, or anything that you want to use or find?
Yeah, we walked around a bit, James.
Hmm.
Ramosa. I've already been trying to get my hands on some Ramosa. That was just so out there. Super herbal, but also kind of tropical, really unique.
I was
Uh,
getting crazy amounts of pineapple on
yeah.
that sample, or the 100% Ramosa beer that they had. Yeah.
Yeah, so when I said earlier, CBC is secretly a beer festival. There's a link, and I can send it to you, James. And I didn't discover this till the last day. There's a website that listed every beer that was on tap at CBC, and there's hundreds probably.
Wow.
And so that last day, I'd already talked to all the vendors. I'm like, I'm going to start marking some stuff on the list of things I want to try rather than just stumble upon. And the vast majority were I'd say the largest category was IPAs, followed closely by Pilsner. But none of them are just like, hey, this is a great beer. They're always like, this hop supplier is really known for this year. They're really trying to push out Hyper Boost for a hop product, or they're trying to push out Mimosa hops, or they're trying to push out whatever hop blend. And so here's beers with all of those. Um, West Coast James, you pushed me towards Haas had some really great ones too. They had I want to say Luna, and I need to actually email them and try to find some of those hops. It's a good reminder. They had some
Yeah,
really
I'm just
fun.
looking at my list. I had Eclipse, Enigma, and then they had this new product, this new hop line that they're calling Next Gen, which they've like identified like I think up to like three profiles per hop. So like Citra would have three different profiles that um, they've noticed that their brewery customers are kind of leaning towards, and then they will blend different lots to hit that profile according to their analysis, every year, and then they make those available. So this is like the first year that they're doing this. So it'll be interesting to see if it sticks, or how brewers are going to use this. But I thought that was really interesting, trying to make a consistent Citra or Amarillo or Mosaic or
Hmm.
whatever, each year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't think it's hops, but someone's doing Yakima Valley. I just ordered some hops after CBC. Lupo Core sounds like a similar
Mm,
thing. Like these hops were actually hand selected by people who work at Yakima to fit
yeah.
this caricature, and they were very similar in price to others. So this wasn't a case of like this has more oils, this has whatever. It's like if you want Citra that leans in this direction, go here, and if you want it to go in
So there
that
you go.
direction,
Yeah.
Huh.
By the way, news alert, Adam.
no,
Uh,
no.
yeah, Yakima Valley is owned by Haas.
Oh, yeah, that's not recent though, right?
That's not recent, but I thought, oh, okay, it's true. All right, all right. Dang, I
Yeah,
thought I was going to
okay.
get you
You had
again.
me scared there. Like, no, don't tell me Yakima Valley's going out of business too, because I just bought some more hops from the
Well, it sounds like you guys
Yeah.
had a good time. Do you know where it's going to be next year?
San Antonio.
Oh,
San Antonio. Yeah,
interesting.
And
should be a good
earlier
time.
next year, April 5th or something, instead of the end of April, it's the start of
Oh,
April.
actually, I didn't know that. Okay.
West Coast James, did you get any food on the floor?
Uh, on the floor itself?
Well, like not literally picked up off the floor and eaten, but I mean
Oh,
like
okay.
on the
I
expo
was,
floor.
there's probably some Philly cheesesteaks that are probably left on the floor somewhere.
Yes.
Um, I did. I went to I went to the welcome ceremony thing, and they had they provided the food for that. One thing that I thought was a little bit weird is that the welcome ceremony and the World Beer Cup awards ceremony, which those are the two bookends, it was the same food, and I thought that was a
Oh,
little bizarre. But
that's disappointing.
yeah,
No,
but
I meant food like there were food vendors out on the expo floor.
no, I must have missed them all.
Yeah, so that's something
You
I
can
did put
text
in
me
my
next time.
notes that I wanted to make sure I touched on because previous years, I've said like I got a theme or a vibe from each CBC. I think this year was kind of like less depressing than last year, less doom and gloom,
Mm,
but it was more of like the acknowledgement that no brewery can just make really good beer and
Mm.
succeed. So food service was huge, and they actually had a quasi celebrity chef in the middle of the expo floor showing off some cooking equipment and making food kind of
mm.
short order. I was surprised to see that. And then there were quite a few seminars I didn't go to them because we have a full kitchen on, hey, now here's how you integrate food into your brewery. Um, I want to hear what you think about this, West Coast James. But last year, and I don't think you went last year, right? Or you did go.
No, I was there last in Indy.
Last
Yeah,
year
I was there.
seemed huge on functional beverages. Like if you add lion's mane mushrooms to this beer, or if you add this, you get this. I saw none of that this year.
Mm. Yeah, actually, I don't remember that much from last year, but um, I do 100% agree with you that it was way more positive this year than it was last year. I feel like last year was like doom and gloom. This is what you can do to basically just like, you know, shore up the windows and like be ready for the storm. And then this year was a lot different, way more positive. I thought, did you go to the keynote
No,
by
we were still in
Will
there.
Gerard, I think is his name.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that wrote Unreasonable Hospitality. He was the owner of, I think, 11 Madison Park restaurant in New York City. But it was a phenomenal, best keynote speaker I've ever heard. Really, really good, and really made me think about different aspects within our brewery and how we're approaching hospitality for each one of our customers. So I thought that was great. And the food thing, I should have been walking around with you a little bit more, Adam, so I could have gotten some free food. But we're also looking at trying to implement a food component into our
Hmm.
potential next tap room whenever that happens.
Oh.
Nice. Yeah. No, I'll have to listen to that keynote because I think it's a tell that the Brewers Conference, their keynote speaker, is not at all affiliated with the brewing industry. He's affiliated
Hmm.
with hospitality, with customer service. Because the other keynotes last year it was husband and wife team that's had a brewery for decades. Year before that was a distillery owner. So like to have someone who is not uh, a brewer, who is not part of the brewing industry, come out and give a keynote, which I will have to listen to. Um, I think that's a tell of like the BA was trying to set the mood there and say like, hey,
Yeah.
this is what we need to be thinking about right now, rather than just what's the latest greatest hop.
Hmm.
Yeah.
If you make the best beer in the world and I get crappy service at your place, I'm not coming back.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
probably won't even buy it retail. You might have such a bad experience that you see it at the grocery store. You're like, nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't get that very much. So, well, guys, this has been a lot of fun. I appreciate your spending time, and I'm glad that it seems like you guys are getting along. Adam's turned another stalking into a possible friendship. So,
Yeah, we only fought a couple times.
well, for Adam, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that knee is gonna. The knee wasn't the sidewalk. That was James.
Oh,
Oh well.
yeah, I need to send some beers your way, James.
Oh yeah, I would not
So,
complain.
yeah. And some probably to Adam's way, unless he gets over here first.
Oh, just take your time, Adam.
Yeah, right. Nothing planned right now.
Sounds like we're going to get the beer anyway, so well, all right, James Bardeen of Farfield Beer Company in Lawndale, California, which is basically
Yeah, it's okay. No,
Los Angeles.
nobody
right?
knows where that is. Yeah, it's basically Los Angeles. Yeah, yeah,
Especially if you're close to LAX. That's close
yeah.
enough. And Adam Ross, as always, of Twin Span Brewing in Bettendorf, Iowa. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. James
Appreciate it.
Davis's.
Cheers.
Well, thanks again to Adam and James. Great to catch up with James and to hear about the wonderful beers he's got on tap at Far Field Beer Company in the Los Angeles area. And as always, every Tuesday I'm drooling when I look at Instagram and Facebook and Taco Tuesday rolls around at Twinspan. I'm going. I hope to go to both of those places someday. If you have brewing questions, show suggestions, or just want to say howdy, write to james@basicbrewing.com or just fill out the contact form on basicbrewing.com. And please don't forget to tell us where you're from. Check out our mobile-friendly shop at basicbrewingshop.com. Our brewers' logbooks are back in stock. Get yours before they're gone. Thanks to everybody supporting us through our Patreon page. Special goodies coming your way. Check that out at patreon.com/basicbrewing. That's all until next time. Until then, thanks for listening, everybody. I'm James Spencer. Production help for Basic Brewing Radio and our website is provided by Kelly Dodson. Basic Brewing Radio is a production of Active Voicing. We'll talk to you next time. In the meantime, stay well and stay tuned. So long.